Hi, everybody. This is Loveline Bessie. I want to say to you that you need to pay attention to endings because people take it for granted. For example, you're working somewhere, you've been laid off or you've been fired, and you know you have to leave that place. Or maybe you resign and you just leave anyhow. Maybe you don't hand over properly, or you don't like you have this attitude. Listen, no matter how good you were of an employee, all that people remember are those last days and how you behaved. It's the same thing with business. Even when you're doing business with people, you're finishing up a business transaction, no matter how you started, people only remember how it ended. So if you ended on a bad note, that's what they will remember. And even with relationships, like friends and all of that, you find that over time, you have this friend and maybe you've been friends for 10 years and then you have a fallout, and suddenly all the years of friendship, they've forgotten all the times you had fun, you ate ice cream, all of that stuff. All they remember is how lousy it ended. And sometimes you're just thinking, but they don't remember all the good I did. We are human beings tend to stick to and hold on to the bad stuff more than good stuff. It's an unfortunate side of being a human being, but it's also life. It is business. So pay attention to ending. If you're selling stuff to customers, if you have physical products that you're selling to customers, pay attention to how you finish the transaction. Because one thing I find with people is, I've sold it, I'm gone. You don't follow up. Was the customer satisfied with that service? Were they satisfied with what they bought? If you don't follow up and maybe they just feel like, well, you took their money and you're gone. Or maybe you don't deliver the service that you promised, you don't deliver the products that you promised. All the stuff you told them before, the advice on eating, if it's about health and stuff, all the advice you gave them about eating healthy, all the tips you gave them even for their children and whatever, they forget all about it. All they remember is the ending. So, endings are very important. And one thing about us as human beings, one thing is guaranteed in life, that we are all going to die at some point. This is a guaranteed thing in life. It's probably the only sure thing in this life. If you think about people who have passed on, all the good they did in life, in the end, if they were bad people, well, whatever it is we define as bad people, that is all people will remember. And let me give you the funny story, and I'm sure some of you have heard the stories before. Like a guy who dies, and at his funeral, a whole other family shows up. This guy could have trained the whole village in education. He could have helped people. He could have built houses. He could have had a foundation, trained people in school. Do you think anybody remembers all the good he did? No. All they're gossiping about is the children and the family who just showed up. So it's the end that people remember. So as you go through life, whatever it is you're doing every single day, just remember that the last impression, I know people say first impressions matter. First impressions do matter, but last impressions, they matter the most. So make sure you pay attention to endings because people always remember that. Like you remember now that this is Loveline Bassie. Have a good one. Bye.